My name is Francisco Sagle, and my second persuasive speech is about how mental illness in adolescents and young adults have increased. The period of adolescence to young adult is a unique and formative time. Because of this, the issues facing them affects them even more. Some of the issues are exposures to multiple physical and emotional changes, including exposure to poverty, abuse, or violence. This can result in increased vulnerability to mental health problems for adolescents and young adults. Coupled with an increase in more social issues, the health of young adults have suffered. In the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, 5th edition, approximately 11 to 20% of children in the United States have a behavioral or emotional disorder. As the problems facing adolescents and young adults have progressed, the effect on their mental health have experienced change. Adolescence is a critical time for developing and maintaining social and emotional habits essential to a healthy mental state. A healthy mental state is determined by multiple factors. The more risk factors adolescents are exposed to, the greater the potential impact on their mental health. So as the problems and issues facing adolescents and young adults have become more detrimental and prominent today, their mental health has suffered. An increase in multiple mental illness such as depression, emotional disorders, psychosis, is indicative of the way their mental illness, oh my God. Okay, we can start again. Adolescence is a critical time for developing and maintaining social and emotional habits essential to a healthy mental state. A healthy mental state is determined by multiple factors. The more risk factors adolescents are exposed to, the greater the potential impact on their mental health. So as the problems and issues facing adolescents and young adults have become more detrimental and prominent today, their mental health has suffered. An increase in multiple mental illnesses such as depression, emotional disorders, psychosis is indicative of the way their mental health has suffered. Globally, depression is the fourth leading cause of mental illness and disabilities among adolescents. However, it also affects young adults. The rate of adolescents reporting symptoms indicative of major depression went from 8.7% to 13.2% from 2005 to 2007. The rate of young adults reporting symptoms indicative of major depression went from 8.1% to 13.2% from 2009 to 2017. Another type of mental health issue facing adolescents and young adults are emotional disorders. Despite emotional disorders commonly emerging during adolescence, young adults can also suffer from it. In addition to depression or anxiety, adolescents with emotional disorders can also experience excessive irritability, frustration, or anger. Emotional disorders commonly emerge during adolescence. With this condition, individuals can endure extreme irritability, anger, or frustration. It can cause unexpected mood or emotional swings that stem from symptoms overlapping across more than one emotional disorder. Another disorder, called childhood behavioral disorder, is another disorder facing adolescents. This type of disorder is the second leading cause of disease burden in adolescents aged 10 to 14, and the 11th leading cause among adolescents between the ages of 15 to 19 years. Some of the specific disorders in childhood behavioral disorders include attention deficit hyperactive disorder, which is described as difficulty paying attention, excessive activity, and acting without regard to consequences, which are otherwise not appropriate for a person's age, or conduct disorder, which has a symptom of destructive or challenging behaviors. Psychosis generally appears in late adolescence or early adulthood. Some symptoms are hallucinations or delusions. Overall, these are not the only mental illnesses facing adolescents and young adults. However, the point is that there is an increase of adolescents and young adults facing the mental illness mentioned and more not included. To understand what has induced this development of mental illnesses in adolescents and young adults, more is going to have to be examined regarding the issues facing adolescents and young adults. Some of these issues facing young adults and adolescents are predicaments with their economic status, technology, and society. When these age groups experience unfavorable economic circumstances, it poses a health to their mental health. Economic disadvantage poses a risk to mental health due to the increased exposure that leave individuals scarred. The desire to conform with peers adds to the stress during adolescence. The increased access to digital media, coupled with the rise of media influence, may have impacted adolescents and young adults more than older adults in the last 10 years, especially with technological advances that weren't here in the last 10 years. Traditional gender norms can also heighten the disparity between an adolescent's reality and their plan for the future. Other important determinants, including the quality of their home life and relationships with their peers, also affect their mental health state. As these issues facing adolescents and young adults have seen an increase in this time, the mental health of adolescents and young adults has definitely been impacted negatively.